What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be working on the G. I'll try my hardest to explain what I am doing and how I'm doing it, but we'll go over the tools real quick. So you're gonna need like a regular socket set. You'll also need a inch-pound wrench if you guys want to do this correctly to the correct torque specs. You can also use electric tools. You're also gonna need some long needle nose pliers. You're gonna need some gasket maker. You're just gonna need some extensions. These some joint adapters for the long needle nose pliers. Also some brake clean just in case, as well as some rags. I got all of this from Harbor Freight. I got this from Harbor Freight too. They're actually really nice quality, so they won't rip easily compared to my other gloves I was using last videos. But I did want to wait until my camera equipment got here, but that's gonna arrive till Thursday, and today is Monday, so I'm not gonna wait, and I'm very excited to dive into this. I'm also kind of nervous because I've never done a job like this on a VQ. Hopefully this how-to video works, but let's get into it. So you're gonna start by taking off the intake, depending on what clamp bolts you guys have on your intake or OEM intake. You don't have to take off your mass airflow sensor off, you just gotta disconnect it. But before anything, you guys always want to disconnect your negative battery because you don't want anything electrical to happen while you're working. So let's get that disconnected and let's start taking off this intake. Also, if you guys have a compressor, just fill it up with some compressed air, and then just with an attachment like this, you just want to blow off the area just so like no dirt or crud or anything gets like into the engine. So just carefully disconnect your sensor, just like that. And then I'm not gonna take the air filter off itself. I'm gonna just take it off from there. Take the hose, the bottom right here. Just wanna come over here. And again, depending on like what socket size your clamps are or whatever, you just wanna go with that. Then those pliers come in handy for that clamp down there. So just like that, try to take your intake off. And I'm sorry, I can't record while I'm doing things, guys. It is kind of harder to record and trying to take stuff apart. I did want to wait for my equipment, but that can wait, it's fine. All right, so when you got your intake off, I have it resting over here. So this is the hose I'm talking about. So now, just set the mass airflow sensor harness to the side. Oh, I just went back. But, oh my God. Nice. You also have to disconnect 3 lines. You have to disconnect this coolant line right here that goes down right here. So you just want to find something to plug that up with. And then this one that goes on top of the throttle body. And this line, but you can just disconnect it from here. And when you have everything disconnected and unbolted, you just want to lift the plenum off and the hose will come with it. But for right now, I'm just fighting with this one coolant hose. Very stuck. And I'm just trying my hardest because you have to disconnect this connection for the coil pack and that one up there, but this line is in the way. So I'm just trying to get that down first, but it is very stuck on there, fighting with me. So just come back as soon as I try to get that off. All right, guys, so I got the hose disconnected. It is a coolant hose. You just want to like plug it up. I just use the extension real quick. I mean, nothing drips out, so it'll be okay. So now that the hose is out of the way, you just want to carefully get those off. These are really hard to take off. I've been trying for a little bit, but as you can see, the sun is slowly going down. So if I can't finish this today, we'll start again tomorrow. But it is my first time, so I'm just trying to take things slow and do it right. But I'll get back to you guys when I get these disconnected. And again, these coil pack bolts are 10s. Guys, I cannot get those clips off. So I'm just trying to unbolt the plenum and try and take it off. And hopefully it is easier to take off these clips for the coil packs. So I'm gonna start unbolting this. All right, guys, so I got it loose. All you need to do now is take off that hose that's over there. That one that's right there. And then that should be it. And when you're doing this, I was kind of like concerned, but you just want to unscrew them all the way to where like they come out, but just leave them on. So like when you take it off, the screws just stay on the plenum. Guys, I got the hose disconnected. This is what it looks like from the other side. goes into the throttle body right there. Right there. So I just took it off, kind of wiggled it like how the old hoses. Alright, so here's the plenum off. Look how dirty it is. I just took an example of how filthy it is in here. So glad I took this off because I was concerned this was dirty. So yeah, so these are all the bolts that you have to take off. I'll try and throw up a pattern to see how you remove them. Here's the plenum. It's kind of filthy, but so this is a PCV valve hose. I got kind of scared when I took this off. This was the hardest hose to take off. The hose that was underneath the throttle body, this is the hose you want to take off. That one was the easiest. So you want to take off 3 hoses. So it's gonna be, well, the intake hose, I guess 4. It's gonna be this hose, the coolant hose that goes underneath the throttle body, that other hose, and then that PCV valve hose right here. So going back to what I was talking about right now, I'll show you guys how I was doing with the pliers. So I would grab the hose like this, and I would clamp it down kind of hard, and I would just wiggle it, and it would just come loose from where it's connected from. So when I took this one off, it whistled. So I got kind of scared, but I remembered that this is a PCV valve, so that should be okay. I'm gonna try and clean all this whole plenum off because that's nasty. Doggo. Her name is Bebe. Is like 13 years old. Yeah, she's like 13 years old. You guys can see she can't hear. And we have snow over here. So, going back to over here. You guys can hear I'm out of breath. Alright guys, hopefully the camera isn't dirty, but I took off the lower plenum. So you just take these 6 bolts on top of here, and then there's 1 bolt right here, and then 1 right here. And then you also want to screw the bolts back to where this screwed onto. But this is the PCV valve that you have to take off too. So I'm gonna just go back over here. So this is where that hose goes onto. These are the bolts that go behind and in front of the lower plenum. So these, you just want to put these back on just so you don't lose them. Now I have so much access to these. The video I watched, the guy first took off these, but I just found it easier to take off the plenum first. So yeah, this is the first time I've seen a VQ open like this, and maybe this is your first time too. But it wasn't that bad. You just gotta dive into it and just not think about it too much. I was kind of hesitant on doing this myself, but I was like, I'm gonna save myself some money, just get a good experience. Then you get to see how your car really is in your own eyes. I think this gasket came off with the lower plenum, but these are the runners I was talking about. All right guys, my phone is at 15%, but I'm gonna try and hurry up and finish this so we can start again tomorrow. But got some rags and covered up. You do not want anything falling there. So with this, you just want to take these bolts out. Don't want to lose these or drop them or anything. And then you take this piece off slowly and carefully. You also want to get some brake clean. And then I guess this is 1 whole gasket. This is... So this is dirty. Dirty. You shake it a little bit and just... Look at it, all that coming off. Alright guys, like last 7% on my phone. I just cleaned it a little bit, just like over the top, but here I'll turn it around so you guys can see better. Look how it looks now from before. I still need to clean more and then get some more brake clean, but clean this piece too. That was pretty dirty. But what's up guys, it is the next afternoon from yesterday, continuing back to what we were doing. All we need to do now is disconnect the coil pack connections and then kind of move this wiring loom out of the way. So also have to take off this whole runner, lower gaskets that are under this that connect onto the actual block of the VQ. So I'll tell you guys what I've done so far. So with these, I was kind of confused because they just look like zip ties, but grab your pliers and through this valve cover plastic, you want to grab the sides and just like push it out. It'll easily come out. And then same for all of them. And then you just want to kind of loosen all the bolts that are holding this harness down. I low-key don't want to mess with these, but if I had to take them off, I'll take them off. They're just grounds. And then the connectors, I got them all loose. These were a pain, but what I found really easy, you want to get a flathead. You want to press on that button. You don't want to like twist it or anything, or like jab it or hit it or nothing. You just want to slowly press on it kind of hard, and you'll kind of hear it click. And then as soon as you hear it click, you just want to wiggle it out with your hand and it'll come off like nothing. That's for all of them. These are kind of tough to reach, but you just want a long flathead. Take off this wire harness connection right here to get all this loose, so I can just move it out of the way so I can start getting this off. But for now, everything's loose. It's just that connection, and then unbolt the runners and then start unbolting the valve covers. But I'll come back to you guys when I have that done and when I start unbolting all of this. This is a weird angle, but here are the pros of being small. Really on the engine. So this is the wiring harness you want to take off. So I was first pressing on this part, this green little clip, but that just releases it from this metal bracket. You want to press on this part. Press on it with the flathead, and with your own hands, just grab it from the plastic, not from the wire. Just slowly wiggle it out and it'll come out. But finally got that loose. So now we can start untangling this apart. All right, guys, so I got the whole wiring harness loose. You want to disconnect this connection. Goes right here. You just want to pull this back. All the coil pack connections. This connection right here goes to somewhere. Oh, right here. I don't know if you guys can see. Here, that one right there. That's for this black one, and then that's for the main harness. It goes right there to that green one. We'll start taking this off. Now I'll let you guys know how it looks.
Good morning, guys. It has been a couple days since we've been working on the Infinity, but as you guys can see, I finally have a stand for my phone. So some of my camera stuff is arriving, or it's Friday now. Some of my stuff arrived yesterday. Took a break because I was sick of this thing. Get back into it. And I also stopped because I did order some new valve covers. I just ordered both of them. I did want to get some aluminum ones, but they were very expensive. They're like almost like 200 bucks just for two of them. So I just got two more from Amazon for like 60 bucks, even though shipping costs more. The reason why we're replacing the valve covers is because on Infinities or VQs, valve covers have a metal gasket for the spark plugs, and which sucks is that you can't replace that metal. You have to get a whole new valve cover, which sucks, but maintenance, so I'm not really upset. I did take off the coils and then disconnected the coil pack connections, and then the whole harness is disconnected. I also ordered a new hose, a PCV hose. You will need one of those. There's like no doubt that you're gonna need that if you're doing this job, because it's just gonna break on you no matter what if it's never been changed. If it has been changed, then it should be okay. So this is the spark plug that is leaking. I also need to remove that last bolt on this valve cover. That's what was annoying me. So I'm gonna try again and use the extensions and the joints that I bought to help me out. So in total for each valve cover, there's 10 bolts for both valve covers. So you should have 20 bolts in total. Make sure not to lose them. And yes, I have a rotor right there because I was trying to get that bolt off in the corner. So I just took a break from that and I came over here. It looks pretty clean, not gonna lie. You wanna make sure not to get no trash or nothing in there, debris. I'm gonna try and clean these edges off, and then I'm gonna cover it up. Now we're gonna hop onto the other side. I'm happy I got that side off now. I'm gonna just cover it up. All right, so I'll show you guys the one on the right. This valve cover is fine, but as you guys can see, the seal is metal. It's a metal seal for the spark plugs. I'm gonna just put them to the side, and don't lose these bolts. These are for the harness. I'm gonna let you guys see how the seal looked. There you go, guys. Look how dirty it is. Definitely needed to be replaced. And this is the seal that's leaking. I really like how clean it looks in the cams and the valves and all that. You guys can get a better look onto the oil in the spark plug. Now I just gotta cover it up, clean it up, clean this plenum off with some degreaser and stuff. Finally, guys, finally, the main thing that I wanted to get done is done. Guys, I found something very disturbing. If you guys can see right there, I have a cracked head. So as you guys know, the crack, I guess that's normal for these VQs. I was very scared when I first saw that, but I did some research. I looked up some stock VQ heads on the internet. Every VQ has that port for oil, I guess, and from manufacturer they just did it incorrectly, and
Each VQ head will look different with a different style crack, but they all have that look, I guess. But it's not broken. I don't need new heads. Thank God. I'm so happy I don't. That just motivated me even more. Jump into it, get these gaskets done, and we'll start doing the tiny swap. We ended off by taking off the valve covers. I do have new valve covers. I have to go get them inside. Now I just want to clean the hardware, clean off all the edges of the heads. Then once that's done, I'll start slapping on valve covers, get it up and running. So for you guys that don't know already, I'm gonna explain myself as best as I can. Oh, and this is the hose that connects both valve covers. This is a PCV valve hose that I recommend you guys get because it did rip on me. The left side just like fell apart and it crumbled. So these are the new valve covers, guys. Okay, before I get started, the thing I liked about these is it just came with the gasket. Let's keep the other ones that I bought. This is nice. It came with a nice gasket, and then in the old valve covers gasket, this gasket was just dry, like it was so bad. And this one feels nice. I mean, these were like 70 bucks Amazon, and then that PCV valve hose was like 13 bucks. Just that shipping, you know, costs a lot, so that's good. I just wanted to mention, it's been that long that I have everything covered under there. The weather has been like really bad. It's also another reason, but I've also just been demotivated to start, and I've been really busy with like graduation and other stuff. Oh yeah, for you guys that don't know, I graduated high school. Alright guys, so cleaned around the valve covers. I still need to do a little bit more cleaning, but I got bored of that, so now I got the fuel rails unbolted and disconnected. They were a little hard to take off, but it's just because they've been there for so long. But the injectors look good. It's just gonna be four 12 millimeter bolts. I try to take off the runner without trying to take off the fuel rails, but you have to take off the fuel rails. So the injectors look all good. Nothing is cracked or anything. So now you just slowly want to move them out of the way. So then you want to take off the remaining nuts from the runner, and then it should come off. So I just put fuel rails over there. Alright guys, so it's gonna be 4 12 millimeter nuts, and then it's gonna be another 4 12 millimeter bolts holding the runners down. And this should alright guys, and just like that, the runner is off. Did some damage to me, but you have to remove a green clip that's on this bracket. But once you do that, then you take off a harness that's just like a little pin that's stuck on here. You take it off and it should come off. So I'm gonna try and start cleaning everything. Alright guys, so this is the cleanest I could get it. I don't think the knife can get any more. It's like really stuck on there. Maybe if I like ever take it apart again, I'll deep clean it even more, but I'm gonna start cleaning the plenums. Alright guys, so I have everything ready. The lower plenum is clean. I have stuff kind of separated, don't mind the mess. This full of brake clean for the valve cover bolts. Semi-clean the top plenum. I'm just like not really worried about cleaning anymore because I deep cleaned this, the runner, and I got it the best I could as I showed you guys earlier. I just used degreaser and brake clean and a rag, and just time, guys. It's just patience, to be honest, to get all these clean. We're gonna start cleaning the area where the runners sat and just more gunk that's still in the valve cover. So alright guys, so got it all cleaned up around here and then all around the valve cover. So alright guys, so I haven't tightened the runner bolts yet. I just did the hand tight. So I have a inch-pound torque wrench, but I need a foot-pound torque wrench. There's two steps to tightening them. First you tighten them in inch-pounds and then foot-pounds. And then with that spark plug, I took it out, I cleaned it out. Iridium from the spark plug was kind of worn out. It's good to know that I will need to be replacing those soon, as well as the coils, but I'm gonna go to a friend's right now foot-pound torque wrench, and then I'll be back. I mean, it doesn't seem that hard. It's just nighttime, but I feel like I could get it done tonight. Hopefully. Guys, don't mind the hair. Damn! But it is the next day, and look what I've done. Put it all back together. I stayed up till like 12 last night. I got all that put together. I double-checked everything. I did snap one bolt. We're gonna start it. I have everything double-checked, connected, plugged. So we'll see how this goes. Guys, so I have someone helping me real quick. They're gonna start it, and then I'm gonna double check for leaks. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. I turned it off because it sounds like it has a little misfire. I think I know what it is, but honestly, this is the end of the video. A little smoke just because of the extra oil that's been sitting. That doesn't really concern me, so thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.